Tony, it's appeared to me that a lot of documents are going to remain sealed. Can you explain that?
The court has essentially ruled for a lot of documents that there's a appellate case law to tell her that if it was produced in discovery only and was not made part of a motion that decided the case, an adjudicatory motion, that document can remain under seal.
Wouldn't that be every document of every case that didn't?
No, there were a lot of motions to amend complaints. There were motions for summary judgment, and there was a whole lot of other motions that we met over the summer. We went through every document in the court's file that was ever requested to be under seal, and we've got the defense to agree to a lot of files don't need to be under seal. Motions in limine, for instance, don't need to be under seal. And that's where a lot of the most important information is. Certainly, though, I've been fighting it, and I thought there was a lot of worthwhile information in the discovery motions themselves. But, the court has decided the way the court's decided.
So what are the nature of the most of the ones that are being left sealed, under seal?
They were sometimes portions of personnel files that were attached as part of a motion to compel more documents or more testimony. Sometimes portions of a deposition transcript of a witness, same. Things of that nature. Sometimes just declarations of witnesses themselves.
Is anything revealing going to ever be released?
By the order of the court that's going to come out, there is probably 30, 40 bankers' boxes worth of documents now of interest that are no longer sealed. 30 to 40 bankers' boxes are no longer under seal. After the court issues this order, yes.
And where do they go from there?
The archives, the court archives.
Which means they're accessible to the public?
Yes.
And so what's an anticipated date of that?
It sounds like as soon as the court musters the manpower to bring the documents over there.
Over and where is the
downtown archive?
That's a Superior Court building downtown on Hill Street. And does that mean that they're going to be scanned into the JCCP documents down there so people can read them online? I'm
not going to say I know the entire process of what the court will internally do to make those accessible, but the court archive is a publicly accessible record.
So are you saying, can you repeat that then? 30 to 40 boxes. Say it again.
There's probably 30 to 40 bankers' boxes worth of filings, which have a lot of the most important information in these cases, that will be made public now.
Within weeks?
It's my expectation. The court order will come out within days.
And
today.
What kind of information will be in those documents?
You'll find many instances of complaints made about priests that were then just transferred over and over again. The heart of these cases.
So we all have something to really look forward to.
Yes.
And you feel like you finally accomplished, you're finished?
No, not remotely. The single biggest fight that we have on our hands still, and it was part of today's hearing as well, is the personnel files, which were agreed to by the defendants that they would turn them over to a referee, and that whatever objections there might be to those documents being made public can get heard and then decided and documents being made public. That process is ongoing. We have a hearing set for March 5th now. Anyone who is following this earlier in the year, the judge that all parties agreed to would be the one reviewing the documents. Justice Pinelli had recused himself and said he didn't think he could serve. It took us a little bit of time, but we were able to get Judge Teresian. Dickram Teresian will be the judge. He has agreed to it. The parties submitted the issue to Judge McCoy, who is the settlement judge, and he's decided that Judge Teresian would be the judge to do so.
So what's holding that up now?
Judge Elias, wants to give every opportunity to all parties to raise objections, to have their objections heard. Mr. Steyer, the lawyer for many of the perpetrators, wants a hearing date. I had asked that since this was already previously briefed, it's already gone to the California Supreme Court. The court just issued the order, or if nothing else, review the briefs that have already been submitted on point and make a decision. Mr. Steyer wanted to submit additional briefing, and the court has allowed him to do so. And so that briefing will be submitted in the coming weeks, and we'll oppose it as we always do, and we'll have a hearing on March 5th.
March 5th. So that was what happened today in court. Was
Yes.
Mr. Starr submitted orally that he still had more objections to a stack of 5, right? 5 stacks?
That's separate. That has to do with part of the settlement agreement was any documents that were subpoenaed from police agencies, like for, say, Father Wimpy. Police prosecuted him. As part of the civil cases, the attorneys subpoenaed the police records. Those records did not get reviewed before the settlement was reached. So part and parcel of the settlement agreement was that those files, in addition to the personnel files, would be sent to the referee, and the referee would hear any objections to those documents being made public.
And that's
So
what
that will
Starr's
be
objecting to en masse, to all of his personnel files? For all of his
He's objecting
clients?
to the personnel files going through this process, as well as the documents that came from the police agencies for in-camera review. He's objecting to that as well.
And that hearing will be March 5th as well?
Correct.
All right. We'll see you March 5th.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Tony DeMarco.